All right, what's up, guys? Today we're going to talk about my initial G1 climb in season 20 of RTA. It's early in the season. We're just barely a month in, I think. But I hit G1 for the first time. Just basically, I think all you got to do is get over 1700 now. But here's where I'm at. Played a little more matches this season than I would say at the same point last time. I'm just having more fun with it. I think I'm more confident in my team based on last time's G1 finish, and I don't know. There's been some slight changes to the meta. I've done some reruning, so we'll talk about all that. But yeah, so that's where I'm at. About the same win percentage, 66.4. I experimented with a couple things early that I feel like didn't work out as well, and we'll talk about that too in a bit. So I want to look at the last 3 matches here. These were yesterday, and this was the day before. So we've got 3 matches in a row here. Oh no, we can't watch. Wait, can we? Okay, we can watch the last 2, because it's post-patch. So that's kind of nice. This actually features a post-patch unit, so we'll talk about it. So he starts off with the Hey Gang, which is an interesting first choice. To me, I'll talk about my draft here in a second, but to me the Hey Gang means AoE control, and he does not go AoE control at all. He goes Overloaded Fire, which is weird. I thought that was really weird. So Shihu is a unit that I built for the first time post-patch. I think it's a really nice pick for my team because it's single target, it's strip, it's lots of damage from artifacts, which is kind of like what Diana does and stuff like that. And then I tend to pick Diana, I would say, faster than most people would. I tend to pick Diana as early as my first and second pick if I'm picking second, or my second and third pick if I'm picking first. So it comes out pretty quick. So the counters start coming out really quick. You'll notice here, this guy heavily overloaded on the Diana. He is totally letting me have the Diana. You know, he went Juno, Cardinal, and Antares. So the Shihu last pick is a perfect counter because now they know that Diana's in, but they've got to deal with the Han or the Shihu, with the Shihu being the counter to what they're doing, and the Han just being probably the unit they'd love to ban to let me keep the Diana. That's one way I've lost a lot in previous seasons is the Han has been banned, and the Diana has been kept, and that's all I've got, right? The odds of them being able to ban the Yanhong, I'd say, are pretty low with the Nana there as well. You can't really allow Diana, Han, Shihu, Nana. So this is a team I've gotten a couple times in a row, which is kind of interesting. The Hey Gang to me is no big deal. The only problem he brings is the glance. All I got to do is kill this Antares and I'm good, is my thought. Because the Han can kill anything and the Shihu can kill anything. Look at that damage on turn 1. And this is actually a pretty bad situation to bring him into because he's got double strip. Gets the stun there, double stun. But I know that my Shihu is good. I just got to wait, right? Those double fire is not a problem. The water Hey Gang is not a problem against Shihu. I just gotta wait my turn. Wait for him to pop up. And then since we were able to kill the Antares turn 1, my Diana is good. All Diana needs to do is take a turn, and we can really wreck that Hey Gang. So we've got counters for the Hey Gang, we've got counters for the fire, and we also have Yanhong and Han still here. So it's a really bad spot for him, especially with no sustain. Like, he can kind of do whatever he wants, but he's in a rough spot. I feel really good about the way this draft played out, and I think Shihu is going to bring that extra element into the draft that lets me cover my counters, which is really important. Like, if you know your team you want to bring, you know where your runes are, you know where your strengths are, and you know what your counters are, and you have counters to your counters, then you're in really good shape because they'll let you bring your stuff, and then you'll counter what they try to do to you. So it takes kind of knowing your draft, and we just kind of, he knew, I mean, we just wrecked up there. It takes knowing your draft, it takes knowing your monsters, but it's well worth your time, and I think people who tend to build the meta and have all the meta picks available and just kind of slam them around randomly, they tend to not really know their counters, and they definitely don't have counters to their counters because generally the counters are off meta, right? For a reason, because they're countering something specific that you're trying to do that might not be what everybody else is trying to do, you know? So you got to look kind of a second layer past in your team selection. You got to have a pretty good core to your team. So know what your core is. Who are you going to run every time? Are you the first pick Chung Pung player every time? Are you the first pick Cardinal player every single time? So then start building out from there. Look at the matches, look at your matchups, look at how they're playing out, and be like, wow, if I only had this monster, how would I win? That's what I think takes you to the next level in RTA personally. So again, we get the exact same draft, the exact same ban, the Nana ban. If they're gonna let me have these 2 LDs, and then the unit that deletes everything except Antares, and then the counter to the thing that deletes that unit, it's a really nice little circle, so I'm pretty happy with that. He brings the Molong Wusa, which, 3 days ago would have been a one-hit kill. Now it's a maybe, you got a proc kind of a thing. And then the Tessa I'm not super excited about. But I was more than happy to ban his sustain because I feel like I've got the sustain advantage. I don't really see an advantage here. I've got lots of strip. He's got double fire, so that's kind of how I'm feeling. Gonna kill the Antares again first. And I build my Shihu fast. And I don't know that that's correct, but that's how he is for now. And the fact that my whole team went before him was sort of crazy. I didn't expect that. I mean, the Diana didn't go, but everything except the Diana went. Definitely going to take a shield because we're already ahead. We're willing to take a hit. The Diana Oblivion is something I just got to work around. You're not going to get attack bar from doing your skill 2, so you can't really ever transform. But you just wait it out. I'm more than happy to heal it because it's a huge threat to anything he does. He has to consider it. Get the glance on the Tessa, which is all we need. He's got his shield, that's fine. And he's out of strips. That's what's cool about the Water Monkey. He's completely out of strips, and so the Water Monkey isn't even a consideration of a target because he can't be hit, right? Now it's his one turn of you can hit him, but he's got bigger problems, so I think the Water Monkey like powers through. And then we go back on the Tessa. I think the Water Monkey, too, is pretty powerful in the Wusa meta because the strips and the safety are pretty clutch. And then we just wreck him. Like, those are two kind of wrecking jobs, right? So pretty happy with how those went. So let's look at my runes and my builds. They are different than the beginning of the season. Things have changed. I've re-runed a little bit. Wusa is one of my later runed units. I don't really use him very much. I haven't had a ton of success with him because I think I'm built to counter Wusas more than I am to be the Wusa, because the Wusa counters are, like the standard AoE Wusa counters like Chung Pung, stuff like that, and I don't really want to play those units. I'd rather play against those units. So I don't pick the Wusa very much at all, and I'll show you the stats in a bit. The Nana was one of my most highly built units, and she's all in additional damage, as you can see on Nem. She gets that speed really quickly because of her base speed, so I just put her ahead of Han. If she ever gets a defense break, which is kind of unlikely with all the immunity out there, she goes right in front of Han, and then bad things happen. She's super tanky if they decide to target her. So here's the Shihu. Ridiculously fast, right? 318. He doesn't need to be that fast. But I got to use my event rune. Oh. So, spoilers, he could have even more crit rate if I max my event rune. Something worth doing. I didn't even notice because he's at full on fire, and that's like all he's attacking. But yeah, we can make him a little bit better. So there's that event rune, just kind of chilling. I gemmed over the roll into crit damage. I think it was worth it. I think getting 3 rolls with the gem versus getting rid of the defense, I didn't like that. So I feel like it was fine. But yeah, so that's his runes. He's maxed out on skills. He's tanky. He's lots of attack and crit rate, no crit damage. So I could probably change him up. I might make him violent because I think there's a violent build that's pretty fast that's just as good. But in my mind, this could mess with cleaves quite a bit because it'll go in front of a lot of cleaves. And then he's invincible. A lot of cleaves don't bring strips unless they're control cleaves. So that's my thought anyway. We'll see. I'll play him a little bit. Here's the Vert. He is the same as he's ever been. He always is this way. Antares also, I've not found an upgrade for Antares in forever. That's Antares. The Juno, I'm pretty proud of. 280 speed, lots of stats. Let's see if we go here, we can see. No, I'm playing around with Yanhong. So yeah, 258 from speed, additional damage from attack. That's about it. So tons of additional damage from speed. She's super fast on Despair, which is really, really nice. Would love to have an actual set of something, but it's okay. All right, Sekhmet is just kind of ruined as an option. I don't use her that much yet. We'll probably use her more. The Daphnis I changed up a little bit. He's on Despair Nem Broken. More stats in general. The one Nem set I'm a little worried about at 120 speed or 220 speed, but maybe it'll be okay. I just wanted him maxed accuracy, so he's 68 accuracy with 17, so 78, 88, 85, right? If he's going to lose, it's going to be losing to 15%. It's not going to be losing because I can't build him with accuracy, so that's my plan there. The Rika I really like on 100 accuracy, 100 res. I think the stats are good. It's this rune that makes it all possible, this ancient rune. It's so nice. It's got accuracy and 1 max accuracy roll -1 and 2 pretty good speed rolls, so very, very nice. Don't use her too much, but I like the way she's built, so it's fine. Karnal, I don't use too much, but I want him on max ac again so that we can get additional damage from his artifacts. He wants accuracy in all 3 skills, and he'll land everything now, minus the 15% RNG, so pretty happy with that build. Sierra, also max accuracy with the artifacts there. Diana is one of my highest built units. Just a nice little tank, 100% crit, of course, on Violent Will. Leo, here's the build. Hasn't really changed. Kind of aggressive, offensive. The Yonhong has changed quite a bit. So with my event rune, the slot 6, I'm able to build her differently. So I'm going to get rid of one of these for something. I'm kind of thinking about going with more crit rate, getting up to like 9 crit rate here, just because every unit I would use this rune on wants more crit rate. I don't know if attack is better. It might be. It's less efficient to take the crit rate, but I'm not sure. Regardless, this is what I'm covering up, so I feel okay with it. But yeah, so she's on Violent Broken. Crit rate slot 4 now, so it's 28 speed there. And she's about as fast as I can get her, so I think she's 294. But the main point of building her like this, kind of tanky, but with a good crit rate, is I've put Han on Violent. For the first time ever. He's on Violent Swift. These are the Swift runes that made his Swift build so good, and they're also the best runes for his Violent build, which is ridiculous. Love that rune. But this was the rune that used to be on Yonhong that enabled her crit damage build. But I took it, gave it to Han, and gave her my new event rune, and now I have them both on Violent. So I feel like a Violent Han and a Violent Yonhong can break games in exciting and fun ways. And yeah, I want that threat to be there. He's very similar to how he was before. 239, about 20 speed slower. In a pinch, I can use his lead over anything else to bump him up. But yeah, nice and tanky. Off will, which is a bit dangerous, but I can't build him on will, so I'm not. But yeah, so that's the build there. Pretty happy with it. Wish there was more accuracy. That's something I would like to find, but it's going to be hard because, I mean, this rune in theory should be findable in Violent. It's just hard. Hard to find it. So that was the main thing about Yonhong. Molly, basically the same. A little faster. Took her off crit rate, slot 4. I ran the damage calculations for Yonhong and Molly, and this version of Molly with the 49 crit and a little more attack plays out to about the same amount of damage as the crit rate Molly. I feel like maybe I was forcing crit rate a little bit. And then the same with the Yonhong. Like, this Yonhong with the higher crit, not on crit damage, like, this is only about 50 less crit damage. She was at, like, the low 130s. Maybe it's a little more than that. I'll have to go back and check. But this crit rate version of Yonhong hits about the same as the other version, and it allowed the Violent Han, which I think is well worth it. The Ikaris is something I'm still playing around with. It's not really ready to go, but in my mind, there's a world where Han lead Ikaris super fast messes up like some cleaves, you know? That's kind of my thought, but I haven't built it out yet. And then I have this built, I don't know why. In my mind, there'll be a use for it against like the Douglases or whatever, but I've never played it, so. That is the current lineup. And let's take a look. I think the season's going okay so far. The win rate is about the right where I want it from last season. The only thing is I tried Molong quite a bit early, and I didn't like the way he performed, so I benched him. He's the only unit I've been playing around with. I've been trying Diana Molong as a response to Wusa, and I think I like Nana Diana better. I think it's better threat for what I'm trying to do, and it has more pivot potential. There's so much reset and things for the Molong that he doesn't quite perform like you'd want him to. So that's the only thing I've been trying that is not quite up to snuff. I might try the Tessa if I got him actually skilled up. I kind of like the thought of that. I tried Perna for a little bit too, and it did not do anything. Maybe the build was off, but anyway. That is how it's going so far. We're going to keep playing. Maybe we'll actually climb higher than we need to be and be comfortable when the tally comes. I don't know if that's a thing I can do, but we'll give it a try. So anyway, hope everybody's, season's going well. The Olivers and Douglases and all that good stuff. Hope that is working out. And yeah, I'll see you on the next video. Take care, everybody.